Three segments. The first segment is going to be online novels. As you know, I'm an online novelist. You can find my online novel at laithbashar.blogspot.com. That's one of three online novels that I'm writing. Right now, however, I'm taking a break. I'd like to do some more book reviews. I'd like to read some more books. I'm interested in, well, let's just say I bought a whole bunch of books at Amazon, hoping that in January I'll have some time to read. But the book I'm reading now is not Shantaram, as you thought, as I had been recently reviewing, but instead Gogol, Dead Souls. And I have a story to tell about Gogol because I began with another translation, which was in my personal library, and that's translated by Bernard Gilbert Guerney, and it's one of the most praised translations in the history of the novel, of this novel, and Nabokov particularly liked it. So I found this in my library, I began reading it, and later I was to buy this version, which is the Penguin edition, and we're going to talk about that today. But first, let's talk about online novels, okay? So before we jump to, let's talk about literature, let's talk about literature online. What can we find online to read? As I've embarked on this journey of blogging fiction in particular, I've come across several blogs that have caught my eye. When I first began writing, one of the blogs that I really liked, we're talking online novels now, was the Tom Drake Experience. Seth is an online novelist who began writing around the same time as myself, and we kind of became twins, and you could say twins of two writers who can identify with each other, and we're both from Chicago, and we're both writing I don't know how autobiographical his tale is, but I can attest for the craft and the excellent use of language in the Tom Drake Experience. You can visit that at tdexperience.wordpress.com. You know, the other great place to look for online novels is the Web Fiction Guide. Now, the Web Fiction Guide is edited by Chris Poirier, a friend of mine who I've actually conversed with through the video chat, and we've talked a lot back and forth on just basic IMing. You can see my cats hovering around in the background. As I said, that's because they're hungry, and they also happen to be obese, so I'm not going to be feeding them today. No, I'm not that cruel. I will feed them later. Okay, so what we're talking about is Web Fiction Guide. Now, Chris Poirier, I mean, he's doing an extremely valuable thing for the online writing community by putting up the Web Fiction Guide, which is where you can go for basically it's a directory of online fiction, and it has reviews too. Now, the review aspect is extremely important to online novels because, well, quite frankly, there's a lot of crap out there. There's now, I have nothing wrong with genre fiction, but there's a lot of genre. There's a lot of fantasy. There's a lot of sci-fi. There's a lot of superheroes. Now, that's not what I'm interested in writing. I'm interested in just more exploring the medium. Now, I don't have a problem with genre fiction. Genre fiction can be done well, just like literary fiction. Literary fiction can be done poorly. There are many examples of poor literary, quote, literary fiction. If you've ever heard of the book The Reader's Manifesto, an excellent debunking of some of the top literary writers, Cormac McCarthy, Don DeLillo, Paul Auster, all of them, just because they're literary, knocked down. Actually, the writer critiques the so-called mainstream literary fiction, and it's a very interesting critique. I'm getting off the subject, though. Web Fiction Guide, great place to go for online fiction. Okay, another great blog is Charlotte, fictional college blog. You know, the writing is great. Again, this is a good online writer, and you can find Charlotte. Just type in Google Charlotte fictional college blog, and Charlotte will come up. I really appreciate her work, and it's sort of a real world-esque, except that is a sort of degrading tag. It's well written, but it's also written in a very youthful, ebullient, and just vivacious manner. Worlds Undone is an excellent online literary blog, a novel blog, and the author, Johansa, I believe is her name, is incorporating a music leitmotif into her prolific output of online chapters. A Timely Raven is something Eli brought to my attention from Novel R. Eli is the editor over at Novel R, and he's also an editor on Web Fiction Guide. And he critiqued A Timely Raven and gave it a 4.5. I took a look at this. This is an impressive use of the medium. Okay, A Timely Raven. Check it out. You can look it up by Googling A Timely Raven. As for online book reviews, I also do a lot of surfing the book review circuit. There is a wide variety of a lot of different types of literary book review blogs. I am particularly interested in one by Carlo. He's a man from the Philippines, and he does a blog called Misreadings. Check it out. He's a young guy, and he's in college, and his blog is, he's very prolific, and he's always writing about new books. I can't figure out how he's reading all of these books, but he's a particularly intelligent man, and you can see how he's made a lot of his literary adventures through the blog format. So do check out Misreadings. Again, Google Misreadings and look under an author named Carlo. It's a blog, so blogs they stand out, you can tell. So you'll be able to find that on Google. Okay, I've also been looking at some of the older book review blogs. First, I stumbled upon Chekhov's Mistress, which is really one of the most distinguished book blogs, I believe. Just excellent layout, nice clean presentation, and interesting articles on just updates on literary events, literary topics. Thomas Pynchon's new novel. What was the other one that I was interested in reading? You know, an interview with the translator of Bolano's 2666. Now, the writer of Chekhov's Mistress is also an editor or a writer for Words Without Borders, an international book review, which you might want to check out. And then we have some